Okay, so, well, they're obviously doing something over here with the weather. I don't even know if I said this already yesterday. My nose just keeps running and running. It's driving me crazy when they just keep messing with shit, man. And it's so crazy how it looks like there's light when it is dark outside. And the sky is so orange. And then the fog is so thick, which I'm assuming it must be a mix of fog and smoke, but they're making it so extremely cold at night. Oh my God, it is cold as shit. And then they bring out the sun, and it's so funny too, because when I started first talking about that there was a fake sun, and I would tell people, like, I didn't just talk on here, I would tell people, I say, that is not the sun. And people just thought I was crazy. It's like my daughter who was here, and I was always going out and doing videos of the sky and stuff. I kept being, oh my God, you're so crazy. That is a normal sun. And I kept saying, no, it's not. No, it's not. Do you just never pay attention to the sun? It doesn't even feel the same. It's not the same energy. It's not the same color. There's nothing the same about it. People thought I was so crazy. And now that it's come out, and so many people sharing all this footage and the two suns, and like now it's kind of like just common knowledge. Yeah, there's two suns, at least. I mean, I've heard that there's several, like there's suns for different areas. I don't know. I just know this whole place has been not what we thought since the beginning. So, oh, my nose is so itchy. I know it's the allergies that they create with their fucking ridiculous weather systems. And yesterday I went out. It's so cold at night. And then I went out and yesterday afternoon, and I didn't see any spiders. So I don't know if they've already froze them to death or what, because the evening before when I went out, there was a bunch. I was watching them making their web, getting ready for their dinner meal. They like to have them up right around dusk. They'll work on those webs. Some of those will work on them all day long, make these beautiful, beautiful webs. I love to watch them. It's like watching an old lady sew or something. And then they'll get them all set up, and they'll get all set in their place for their evening catch. It kind of reminds me of fishermen or something. I don't know. It's cool. And it's so funny too, because I think they're so cool. There was one spider that has been in my bathroom. And one day I was going around, I was spraying that room deodorizer stuff. You just take like essential oil and water. And I like eucalyptus and peppermint and stuff. It just kind of cleans out the air. And it makes it just feel more breathable. I don't know. So I was spraying it. And the spider we had been over in the corner. And this guy looks like a daddy long legs. Only his body isn't a little round thing. It's like longer. So I don't know what he is. But he has super long legs. And he was hanging right above the door. So every time I'd walk in the bathroom, I'd be like, oh, he's got to follow my hair. And so I was just walking around spraying. Well, he didn't like that. I wasn't even remembering about the spiders. You can use peppermint and water, as in the essential oil peppermint. You pour it into the water and spray. You can use that. Bugs or spiders don't like it, and they will go away from it. So anyways, like if there's something, instead of just using bug spray and just killing everything with chemicals, if you just use that, it will, push them out a different direction. It won't kill them. They just don't like it. So you just spray that around. Like, I'll spray my whole, get up there if you want up there. I'm doing this right now, honey. I'll spray my whole door jamb. I probably should do it now, especially because they've already got the cold going. Oh, lady. If you want up there, you can get up there. I'm doing this right this second. I'll help you in a minute, or go lay in your bed. She keeps really wanting to get up on the couch again, but she just goes up and just stands there at it. One day she did walk in and get on it. That was the first time she'd gotten back on the couch since she got sick. But there's still something. But the other day when we went to the lake, she did get sore. We really did a ton of exercise. So I was going to take her to the dog park this weekend, but now there's just way too much. Like, I don't want to use my gas for that because, anyways, back to the weather thing. But anyways, you can spray. I'll spray around my door jamb so the spiders won't cross and come in the when it gets cold, and they try and move in. So anyways, the the weather, they're trying to create the system. They want these horrible system crashes so that we have explosive, natural, unnatural disasters. But we have 5 fires around us. Yesterday, it was so freaking windy. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God. They're just spreading the fires, trying to get them over here as far as they can get them. I mean, they want it to spread all over, and they use the wind and all their weather stuff. And so anyways, yesterday with all the wind, and now they keep doing this cold, hot, cold, hot. They got a bunch of fires around us. I've got my suitcase packed, and it's just getting irritating too, because I have to go in and dig through my suitcase like I'm on vacation, but I want to be prepared. Like, you can't just sit there and think like, and it can go quick. I guess in Northern California, I started seeing a fireman talking about it, and he does forest fires, and he's working on that one, and he's posting about it. And he was talking about the people who are being evacuated who won't leave is so irresponsible. You're putting all the different firemen's lives in danger, because then we have to go in and try and rescue you. And he said, you just don't realize how fires work and how quick they can change directions. And it can be just so quick that it jumps across the road, hits our houses, and everything's gone, and there's no way out. Besides the fact, when you have such a minimal amount, for me in my area, such a minimal amount of evacuation, and everybody's trying to get out. And I think it's so funny too, because in all of these movies that they've showed us, when this stuff happens, and people line up at the gas pump. So that's why I want to make sure I keep my gas in my car. I don't want to just, I've got nothing to do, I'm just going to go drive around and use my gas so frivolously. And when really, I mean, anything can happen at any moment. Literally, I mean, these people still have control, obviously. I mean, it's a beast, So I was so glad for the Queen to go down. And I guess there's a huge amount of division about this. Like, people are literally stopping following friends of theirs. I'm not talking about just people like me. I'm talking about their good friends are arguing. It's the same thing as every single bit of the division that they create. And now it's this one, where people think that is just being rude. If you're glad she's gone, or you would dare say that. And there's tons and tons of indigenous people speaking out, like in Irish, Scottish, all the people that the crown has been killing over time. I mean, so there's people who are happy, like, good riddance to you. So, and then there's people who are like, how dare you? Oh, that's so inconsiderate. It's like, oh my God, what the hell? Like I said, I swear to God, some of these people would run out so they could touch fucking Jeffrey Dahmer. Oh, just let me have a little touch. It's like creepy, man. So, anyways, there's so much more into fame or something, like there seriously is people who go to places where horrible crimes have happened just to go in and feel the energy and walk around and shit. There's people who go to, I think Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment building ended up getting torn down. A lot of these evil people's places end up getting torn down, probably because they take the room and go build a house like 13 Ghosts to trap all of this evil energy in one place, even though it wouldn't be like in 13 Ghosts where you actually have the ghost trapped, because they show they show things in movies that they know that we don't know, and all the walls were written with all those candidations, so maybe they can just trap a spirit, like in those duvet boxes or whatever, those things that they can trap a spirit. But anyways, the energy or whatever, anyways, just it's creepy. Oh, and you know what else? I think I'm skipping around already, but you know what else I saw? This woman this morning, and she was saying like a public service announcement, and she's like telling the men she's like, will you guys, whoever it is, it's going out there astral traveling at night, leave us women alone. We're trying to sleep. Leave us alone. Quit coming in and touching us and whatever you're doing and stuff. And so, and she said the same thing as me. She said, I can tell the difference in a ghost and whatever you are, this other consciousness or something. You can totally tell the difference. It's not a ghost. And like I said, even when I got my stuff, like I was going to do this whole clearing, and they started laughing at me. So, but they're not abiding by universal law. So, I don't know. It's creepy. And she thought it's just random men. See, I think it's the men in black. Or see, there's people monitoring the astral world. And I think that, they can recognize certain energies and they're going after certain energies. I think. I don't know. There's a lot for us that remains to be seen. But I just thought that's so funny because now that is the fourth person I've seen talking about this. And it's not like, the same group of people. Just like that one girl who I had seen talking about it. And I said, if I grouped up with her, we'd look like a bunch of crazy people. So I don't know any of these people. And we're all saying the same thing. So anyways, I think that is, I think that's a thing. And the weather just keep attacking and attacking and, not knowing what's going to happen. But if we get evacuated, the roads, you could be stuck on the roads for hours and hours. Like, man, I don't know. I'm just burnt out, man. I'm just burnt out. It's like you have to stay aware and alert what's going on around you. But it's exhausting because it's just nonstop, just bullshit all the time. This is a very exhausting time. And that to me is also, when you think about this energy, the energy wave that is going to go back like a tsunami going back the other way. And it is like that. And I had said about that one guy having that dream about all the water receding. And that is what it is like. It's pulling all of this energy. And it is like it's pulling so hard of this certain kind of energy. It will like suck it in. And then it's going to turn and go the other direction. And it's going to have momentum. When things go the other direction, I think it's going to go fast and hard. And then it will kind of slow down a bit. But just like all of this energy, like I had said so many times, it's like they're pulling the rubber band back tighter and tighter and tighter. There's so much tension on this energy that it is going to go full force when it turns the other direction. Maybe it is like they're kind of letting it out a little bit by, announcing the queen is gone and stuff. And it's so funny, too, is all this arguing. It's like a little too late. She's been gone a while. And she was probably, separated because that is what isn't it the church and the crown that started all this? And it's so crazy how you have these people who know that so much evil was done by the church and the crown. Even if you took each entity as separate, they have done so much evil and so much murder in God's name. And there's still people who follow them. Like, oh my God, what does it take for people to realize or, turn on their own discernment, their own soul, their own, how many murderers do you follow that just tell you, oh, it's okay. God told me to do it. It's fine. You can do it. If I say you can do it, and God told me directly. So he said for me to go murder, 10,000 people right here because I needed their gold. I needed their land. I needed their jewels. I definitely needed those little kids. So, and it goes so far back, I mean, there has been queens who bathe in the blood of children and eat them so that they can stay beautiful and young. Like, this is a practice that has been going on for a long fucking time. And, now we get to see. Now is like, we get to see where we've been, where we've been vacationing. But this is, it's just, it's just a lot. It's just super, super draining. I just saw this one girl, and I've talked about her before too. She's the one who I said that she had a tattoo like mine on her hand. And when I had seen her talking, she was saying so many of the same things that I say. And so to me, that is like, being on the same kind of wavelength, that when you have people like Vortex, like she's always telling me, like, we have so many things that are in alignment. It's like you are come from this same kind of wavelength, the same frequency, the same soul tribe, the same group. So it's like a frequency kind of, I don't know how else to explain it. But anyways, so she has just gotten diagnosed with MS, which if you look into all of the heavy metal poisoning and all that stuff, then you find out that's what causes that. It's what causes every fucking thing. Everything. From the flu to cancer, everything. Autism, all of it is done by these people. The ones that are creating the diagnosis and the cures are the ones that are creating the problem. And it is just from their other LLCs and stuff that are poisoning us. And it all works together. It's the same people who own everything. And so anyways, she was talking about something this morning with her sickness, how sick she has gotten since the diagnosis, which, what did I say? Somebody gets a diagnosis, it fucks with your head. And you start making yourself sicker and sicker and sicker. That's part of the whole head trip, why they give you a diagnosis, why they give you the recipe of what's going to happen, because they program it into you. And I know that is what saved me on the Hep C shit, because I didn't know I was sick and I didn't feed the program. I just looked at my body and dealt with the symptoms and did my best to take care of myself. And, that's what we all need to do. It's so much of this bullshit head game shit that they do. I even just saw a parody kind of little clip, and it was a group like a guy come into an office. No, I think it was actually these people came in to be test subjects or something. But it's sitting, and it kind of reminded me of a scene out of The Office. I think that's why I thought that. They're sitting there, and the guy's up at the front talking. And he starts explaining to them that there'll be two groups, because of the one group, the placebo group, their brains will do it for themselves, and they need to, he's explaining all this stuff, and this guy keeps asking this question about the placebo, and he keeps explaining how your brain can heal your body itself. You don't need any medicine. So anyways, it's really good. And then, he blow darts this guy to knock him out because he's asking too many smart questions, and everybody's just sitting there like, zombies. They don't even question a fucking thing. So anyways, it is, I still have to keep trying to catch my breath. It feels so intense. And you know what freaks me out too? Is now I saw it's not just the towers. There's people who are all ordering those little EMF monitors or something that you can go up, and it starts showing if the radiation is going up or whatever it is they're monitoring. And so you go up. This girl was showing, because she was showing, do not sleep with your phones next to your bed. So many people do. People sleep with their goddamn phones plugged in and in their bed with them. They're giving themselves cancer. And she was showing just having a lamp next to your bed, which I do. Having a lamp next to your bed turned off is way over the amount of radiation, electrical voltage that is harming our bodies. With it off, I went and unplugged some more stuff around my house. And I have all of these like fairy lights and stuff, because on my wall with the, where I have all of my star collection, and I have all of those little fairy light stars hanging. like, I don't fucking know. I could be just sitting here radiating my body all goddamn day. And that's why I get these high-pitched screams in my ear and shit. But so, she was showing that it went up to like 175, just going up to the lamp, not over to the plug, up to the lamp while it was off. And I don't even remember where the phone went to, but it was like, so actual electricity is giving us cancer. Then you think about that. Like I've seen things like, because I like older movies, and there's one, and I had talked about it recently, but there was this couple, and one of them did not want electricity. They lived out in the Appalachian, and when electricity became a thing, the husband didn't want plumbing, he didn't want electricity, he didn't want any of that stuff. We don't need that. And the wife did. She wanted that stuff. And the stuff that he was saying, who I think it was Bruce Dern was the guy, and he was saying all stuff that made sense. It's super dangerous. And and I've heard this so many times. And how many people have been electrocuted? I was electrocuted as a child. I have been, I feel certain I've been electrocuted like 3 times, but it's been by 110. Because it's in the house. If you do 220, like the stove or, the appliances, that could kill you. 110, it hurts. It fucking hurts. And I don't know, it could, kill some people. It wasn't my time to go, or I would have gone. Oh, and I just saw this lady. I thought this was interesting. This lady was saying that she said, I died in 2019, September 2019, I died. And so I thought it was going to be an NDE. So I went in to listen because, I've always been drawn to the NDEs. And so it wasn't. Instead, she was talking about like this wreck that was about to happen. And she explained it. And then all of a sudden, it was like they saw the lights, and then it just was suddenly on the other side or something. I can't remember how she said it. But so it was really confusing because most people thought that she really meant that she died. Well, the lady was saying that she and her boyfriend, who were in the car, are positive that they died. And then it was a new timeline. And they just went into a new reality. And in the new reality, suddenly that there was the Dovik, and then there was lockdowns, and all of it happened after that. And she said the whole world changed after this, where she was convinced her and her boyfriend died. And to me, when I was listening, and when it got to the end and I heard, where she went with it, I was like, oh my gosh, that is what happened to me when I was 16. And I was driving, and I've talked about this before. And I knew I was about to be in this wreck with this 18-wheeler. And so I just shut my eyes, like for impact, where you're just like, and then nothing happened. So I opened my eyes, and I was over on the other side of it. I was in front of it. And I don't know, how miracles go. Maybe somebody did witness. There certainly wasn't cell phones. And maybe somebody witnessed my car jumping. There would have been a glitch. Somehow there was a glitch. Because there's miracles. Because you can't die before your time. It is impossible. And miracles will happen to make sure you don't. And so I said that to her. And, she could still be convinced that she died. But to me, I just think, you had a miracle because you weren't supposed to die. And I said you were supposed to come in and experience what we've been going through. That's why you are here still. And, but everybody has their own ways of looking at things, their own beliefs and whatnot. So, and I just think that there's so many people who they have never been spiritual before. And then as soon as they do, their ego just takes off and they think they're experts and they're telling people stuff. So you have a lot of people leading each other through the dark that don't have a clue, and it'll play out the way it's supposed to play out. But it's definitely kind of aggravating to watch, It's like, because it could go way different than that. It doesn't have to go like that, but whatever, you know, I mean, people just don't, they just don't understand everything about energy and the whole concept of multi-dimensional beings, that we're just energy. We're in a giant living thing. We're cells of something huge. So I don't know. You want to go all over that. But I just had this other girl, and yesterday I was outside and I was grabbing something. My neighbors on either side, when we hand stuff back and forth, we just hang a bag out on the fence, and then, you know, we'll all go out and get our bag. And so we just give stuff back and forth to each other of this system we've developed with bags hanging on the fence. And so I went out there to get something that she had printed out for me on her printer. And, you know, the dead trees that I had to pass. And this, so I did a little video and was talking about, you know, stop believing that they're trying to save the planet. They're not. They're actually killing it. They're doing it. And, you know, stop, whatever my little video was. And this young girl, and I know she's a real person because I went and looked on her thing, and she has 18,000 followers, and she, you know, I was looking at some of these people, their videos are just, I don't get it. Just put on a filter and then just lip sync. So put a filter on your face and then lip sync what somebody else says. That's their post. Like, I mean, you aren't even being yourself. You're not showing your own face. You're not using your own voice. You're not speaking your own truth. Yeah, you could agree with what this person's saying, or you could think like, you know, you want to dance to it or whatever, but it's still, you know, it is like you are an extension of something else. You're not yourself. I don't know. There's something about it, but whatever. This is for them to figure out. But so she comes in and starts telling me that my trees have this mold on them because they're too crowded. And she starts explaining to me about the root system and how the small trees are being killed by the big ones through the root system with this mold and stuff. Well, yeah, the fucking mold is there because they sprayed something on the fucking trees and it created some mold. I am not the only one saying this. There's all sorts of people, like I've said, that I talk to about what's going on with the trees and shit. And it's around different places. And other people are seeing it. People are getting their leaves and seeing the white film on the leaves. They're seeing the splatters. Like, people are seeing this stuff and sharing the information. It isn't, you know, crazy. It is really happening. And some people have awareness and some people don't. Some people are programmed and believe the narrative. And there's a lot of us who don't. So anyways, I'm showing that, and so she comes in and starts explaining all this to me, and so then she starts explaining to me over in her area and how it's so important. They do need to spray because they need to control, and it may be hard, you know, but that is, they're taking care of the planet and shit. I was like, oh, dude, you are not on the right page. You just need to move on, sister. I didn't say it like that. But I was like, oh my God. I was like, well, you know, we are definitely not in alignment in our thinking. There is, you know, we can live harmonious with the planet without fucking going in and killing it and going in and fumigating every living thing and then saying you're saving the planet. Bullshit. And we just had these trees inspected. Everything was perfectly fine and perfectly healthy until last September when they came in and fucking sprayed whatever it was that they sprayed all over the trees. They immediately started killing them. Trees started turning orange and dying. And then this mold started growing. And it is attacking the root system. They've attacked the root system. So when they come in with the wind, that they can blow those fucking trees right up out of the ground. Huge fucking trees that are goddamn 150, 200 years old. I mean, these trees are fucking 100 feet tall or something. I don't know. They're fucking huge. And they come down. Like, I'm not making this shit up. They fucking come down and they crush people. They crush their cars. They crush their houses. And that is what they have done. They know what they're doing. This isn't like, well, mistakenly, we didn't mean to spray that on you. Bullshit. Yeah, they'll say whatever in court when they get called out. They've meant to do every motherfucking thing they're doing. There's not a goddamn thing that they are doing to us that they don't mean to do. I just saw a doctor who was talking about, do not put the 5G on your phone. Turn it to 4G. You do not need that extra radiation. She was talking about that radiation, and the whole time she has these EMF gloves on. She won't even touch her phone or her computer or anything. She's like, you guys just don't know how dangerous this is. And she was talking about the numbers. Just the numbers, like what I said with the... she was talking about, like, there's a town like over by Germany where it's supposed to be like super healthy, and they said no, you're not putting any of these towers in here. And she said that when they want to add in like 17,000, so like you take a city and they add in like 17,000 towers as a grid system as to cook us alive. And it's way worse too if you have sweat, like younger kids sweating and stuff. That's probably why the SRDS, this sudden death, is this running around playing, sweating, and then the radiation, it fucking explodes them or something. It is the radiation uses it. You can look up. I mean, there's other people talking about it. I sure can't explain it. It's not my content. I can just tell you what I'm seeing out there. And but that information's out there. You can go look it up. And she was talking about the going from like 200, however the measurement is, as dangerous for us. And then they move it up to like 2,000 or 200,000 or whatever. It's extreme. Like, they're literally cooking us. Like, in the microwave, when you can put in, like, say you want to put in a roast, and you have to turn it down so it will cook a long time, so it doesn't cook it real quick. So that's like what they're doing to us. And then they mess with the frequency. Like I said, I think when alcohol sales are down, they're just like, turn it up a little. Just give them a little shot of, pain and suffering. No, a little shot of, I don't know, it's like a little Zolt. Like, just like a thing like that, like where you have people walking around and then just like, oh, whoa, what was that? I think they just gave us a little volt shot here. So anyways, they are definitely doing that. But electricity was a part of it the whole fucking time. They had already started it with just electricity. And we have it all over in our houses. And, and I had said about the air conditioner, especially these fancy ones, especially when they came to put it in our houses, the poor folk. Here, we'll take your old wood stove and we'll put this fancy new thing in here. And then seeing where the CIA had said, that they want to do this stuff with the wiring and the frequency so that it causes us more strain. And I can tell certain lights that I turn on, I can hear it and I can feel it. And, but it's so funny because I don't turn this thing on all the time. It's usually off. In the winter, I'll have it on, but I don't even know. I may even see about, like, there's no way to unplug it, but I think it's into the fuse box. I may turn the fucking fuse off, but it is not even on, and it will start making noises. So everything is fucking alive. Even when it's not on, there's a live current going into this shit, and it is feeding into us. That's why they wanted lead paint off our walls and stuff. They wanted us fully exposed. They wanted to see, how sick they could make us and how many drugs that they could create to sell us. It's all a part of their fucking nauseating system. And I'll tell you another thing is there's this other guy that I started following the other day. I unfollowed him today just because it's just way too much, dude. When you just are constantly talking negative division. Oh my Lord, have mercy. And just going on and on about the boomers. Oh my God, how much better the planet's going to be once all the boomers are dead. And all they've done is create war and stuff like that. It's like, dude, the wars the boomers were involved would have been North Korea and then Vietnam. Like, what are you talking about? Gulf War, Afghanistan, those fucking things, that would have been Gen Z, Gen X, Gen some fucking thing. I don't know. And these categorizing, labeling of human beings that just catalog us into groups. And these people who just join in and love it and just want to keep talking about it. And once we get these boomers off, these warring, controlling, Bible thumping boomers, it's like, Jesus Christ, do you know anything about generalizing and stereotyping? And I don't. It just is really, really annoying and just the whole attitude, and just the willingness to want to be categorized. And there's so many people like constantly, well, the Gen X, the Gen Z, the Gen V, it's like, oh my God damn. Like, there's definitely a difference in how different groups were raised, but we don't want to divide like that because they've divided us like that, and people just want to jump on board. Hell yeah. And it just is that whole way that kid's attitude was. It just was like so annoying. And another thing too is one of the ladies who I had seen, and she's a biracial one, and I said that she had posted stuff, and then people started saying, well, you're so negative and you're causing division and whatever. I don't even know all this stuff going on with her because I usually don't watch her videos. But she's very serious about following, and there's a lot of people out there who are really trying to create their following. It's not just about how many people am I touching with this information, especially for me, because the information, it's not my information. It's not just me saying this shit. I'm getting the information, and then I'm trying to spread it because, they relentlessly push me into doing it. But now I love it. Like, I like doing it. I have fun doing it. But, I had to grow into that. But that is, when I'm looking at numbers, I'm looking at how many people am I reaching with this information that they are wanting me to spread, because I know it's important. And there is definitely some ego involved when you want to be, acknowledged for what you're doing. And I do like it when people, I get comments all the time, that I've helped somebody, and it makes you feel good. So, that is a nice little benefit when you feel like you've shared something that has helped somebody. But this lady, so she said, and I keep seeing this, there's a lot of people who are leaving because of the attacks that they're getting on themselves. And so she said, she just can't handle the drama anymore and the being attacked and stuff like that. So she's going to leave, and she wants her followers to follow her. So many people do this, and the followers don't follow. Like, you can have tons of followers on one thing, and they stay on that thing. They don't go, oh, well, we love you so much, we're going to leave our favorite social media and go follow you to yours. It just doesn't go like that. So the people who leave, they have to go and start over with something else and build a following on that platform. So, and I get where they're coming from. It is frustrating, when I was on Twitter and I started losing that stuff, and I had all these people that there's been so many times I've had different groups I've interacted with, and then, they don't like that. Like right now, especially yesterday, I did a fucking post about how disgusted I was about people running out there to shake Charles' hand. And it was just getting, right now it's like, I don't know, 2,300 or something views, but all of those were within a couple hours, and it just stops. I do it every time. If anything can even seep through, which I don't even know how it does. Usually, as soon as something gets to like 200, they'll stop. But when those things happen, people keep coming back on. Oh, I was wondering where you were. I haven't seen you in so long. It's like, fuck, I haven't even seen myself in so long. Like, I'm blocked, bitch. Like, they don't let my information out there. But I know it's going to go the other direction when it goes the other direction, when the energy changes. My guides have told me a million times, like, you're getting it out there, it will be seen. It's just, you'll see. There's a lot of stuff they tell me. And, this morning already, I was like crying. I don't remember what it was. Something happened, and I start crying, and, and I'll be talking to them, and I'll be like, you just don't understand. Like, people think I'm crazy, and, it seems like I'm a crazy person. I'm talking to people who aren't here, and And I'm listening, like I'm truly talking to people who aren't there. Like I'm having a real conversation. And, and so many people think that's mental. Like there's nobody there. Who are you talking to? You're talking to yourself. And which, I've already said, well, they tell me things that I don't know. So I don't know how that could be. I know I'm not talking to myself, but it's however anybody else. I just feel fortunate that they started talking to me at such a young age that I start hearing them so I can recognize their voice. And I just feel like that there's so many other people who, they're talking to them, but the people think like, well, I'm just crazy. That makes me crazy. I can't talk to somebody I don't see. And so they think, that they're going crazy, especially sometimes. Like, I swear to God, sometimes it can be like you're fucking in a gymnasium and you got all these people talking. It's like, okay, just slow it down, please. And, that can feel super crazy because you got so many voices in your head. And so I can totally relate to how these people feeling crazy, because sometimes you do feel so crazy. And, but I also think that the people who aren't hearing the voices, and they are so stuck in their head, they're not hearing, they need to tune in outside of their own thoughts, or recognize, not all thoughts are coming from within them. Like, they need to think of it in a different way. Not the people who are feeling crazy. They need to just start relaxing and trusting and knowing that they're not crazy. Like, you can go out and take care of yourself, right? You can have conversations with people. There's no signs that you are mentally ill and losing your mind other than you hear someone talking to you. But there is a consciousness, and we are all in a body of consciousness. So just as what if your cells in your bladder were suddenly like, who's talking to us? Who told us that we needed to pee? What are they talking about? What's happening here? And that's kind of like what it reminds me of, what's going on. It's like, you guys just don't understand what this place is and what you are. It's like running around, the sky is falling, we need out of here. Which the one guy who I kept seeing about the 10110 thing where everybody was leaving, that the 27th or whatever. Now he keeps going live with this other girl. Like, they've teamed up. They both have a huge following, but they've teamed up and they're live every day. I haven't gone in and watched it or anything. A lot of times I don't go in and watch. I like to hear people's testimonies, what's happening in their life, and seeing what's happening in areas when I go on TikTok. That's what I'm looking for. I don't like to hear other people's philosophy or other people's perspective, because I don't want it to interfere with my own. I need to stay more clean and clear about what I'm being told. So, I don't know all of the different stuff that is being pushed. That's why I said, I'll hear people saying that this spiritual community is bullies. I do get the religious bullies, 100%. I haven't had the spiritual ones. Most of the ones that come in on mine always are like, yeah, that makes sense, because I'll speak out against them. I'll put it on the hashtag, Just because you have done ayahuasca and you bought the gear doesn't mean you're spiritual. Like, that's not the prerequisite. That's but that's this, the consumerism, simple fast food world is all about. Oh my God. Now I get this picture of Kim. I just saw somebody do a whole breakdown about the dream and, Sandman and all of this stuff right now that they're putting in our face about the dream. We're in a dream. And it was just a whole thing. Some of these people do the coolest breakdowns. And, but seeing those pictures of her, because now she has done, she had white hair and black eyebrows. And now she has gone white hair and white eyebrows. She looks kind of like Lady Gaga. But she's just like, she is like she's like a mannequin. She's like a mannequin for the deep state. And, you know, she is like, shows what it is to be controlled or something. She just is so, I don't know. I doubt she even lives her life for herself. She's just a mannequin, you know? And they put her around, oh, set her over here by this, set her over here by that. And, you know, she's, it's kind of like the same, too, as these people worshiping the church and the crown. She's like the same thing. Like, she's shallow. She's just always got drama. There's just nothing that is, she's not like some role model. Like, why would she be somebody you would follow? You know, I don't know. I just think that it's just as strange. It's strange. She just is. I don't look at her and see like a real person. You know what I mean? I see her as just being kind of an empty shell. And a lot of these people were born into these families, and then they're systematically created into a certain state of being or something. And, you know, I don't know. But to me, she is like a Wrigley's gum commercial or something. That's all I see her and her family as, is just a commercial to direct you for consumerism, and shallow, and, you know, put your value in things that don't matter. That's the Kardashian commercial. That's all they are. And people follow it and want to be like them. And it's so weird. And she is so much. I guess the whole thing, too, in the breakdown was her putting her bare butt up there was to moon us. There's a whole thing about it. Like, it's just like, oh my God, the way that they just do this stuff right to us. Like, they just are always laughing in our faces. And, you know, I hope whatever is about to go down, like, I'm feeling like probably this weekend is going to be very dramatic in some places, and I don't know. It could be here. It could be a whole bunch of places are hit at once. Who knows? But tomorrow's the 11th, so you know, I say meditate as much as possible about just keep directing energy into love, into your best timeline, into joy. You know, stay focused on that. Don't focus on the fear and all of that. But you got to stay, you know, you got to stay observant over what's happening in your area. You can't just be oblivious. Like, just love and light. That's all that matters. You know, you have to also be aware. You have to protect your own self. Your avatar depends on you to protect it. So, you know, can't do anything without the battery pack. You know, we've seen what happens to the people when they take out the battery pack. They just slump over and become just empty vessels. So it's up to us to save ourselves. But, you know, we can't just sit there and be like totally paranoid and in fear. Like, I'm seeing some of these people, to me, it just is total paranoia on some of this stuff with the celebrities, and every single one is evil and stuff. It's like, man, just a generalizing and stereotyping and just paranoia. Like, something has got to break free in this awakening. Like, people get so stuck. And, you know, but it's whatever they've got to go and work out and work through. And their guidance is going to show them. Hopefully they're all tuned into their guidance and they're really facing what it is that they're supposed to be facing. Like, I don't know, because to me it seems like something big is going to happen, and there's like most of the population is not fully awake. They're only awakened to some things or a couple of things or one little thing, but they are not completely awake to it all. And I don't know, you know, if it is going to be just so much about facing themselves, because I keep seeing that people saying stuff. And like this one girl who said she's leaving TikTok now, trying to get her followers to go with her. And she is saying, I can't just take all the negativity, like, and plus getting kicked off. Like, I know that the lives are heavily patrolled by the opposition. And then they go in and they start attacking. Like, this one was sad because this was, this lady did a post of a clip of her live, and it was a black lady and a little black boy, but he had super long hair. And the mom was braiding the hair, and the little boy's reading the comments. And he was little, like really little, like 9-10 years old, like where they're still just like little skinny kids. They haven't even developed into a adolescent. They're just still that little skinny kid. This is sad because people start saying mean stuff to him in the comments and kept calling him a girl and stuff. And the little kids start crying. And they go through these lives and they bully people, and then they go in and they try and get people to fight and stuff, because then they get them charged with community guidelines and they get their accounts strict or strikes on their accounts, and then you get restrictions. Like, I've got restrictions and I don't even have strikes. They just are like, nope, she doesn't get talk. Shut that bitch down. So, it's super frustrating. But watching what is going on with a lot of the people who don't know, like I learned about this in 2020 on Twitter, but watching them see in it how it's playing out and stuff, it's sad. Especially like a little kid, and being bullied like that. And the mom stopped everything and started telling him, not to listen to bullies and mean people and stuff, and did a whole little talk to him. But it's still, you could tell his heart was broken. And it's like, people are so fucking mean. How is that going to make the world a better place? If people are all going out being beat down and feeling like shit about themselves, they're going to have a great world, a place where there's no crime. Now they've made it to where criminals, you don't even have to go to jail anymore if you're a criminal. No, we're going to, and, of course, people are freaking out. They want to take all these and then let all the criminals run free, because they showed, like, how many fucking purges did they make? Like 5 or 6? Like, they've definitely, that is a program they have been running and implanting and creating. That's the creation of a program. So, that's their plan. I don't think it's going to go that far. But then again, I didn't think it would go this far. I thought people were going to wake up. Like I said, I thought 2020, this shit would have been over. I had no idea that it had to go and go and go and go. I had no idea that it would be so complicated for people to wake up. I had no idea how asleep people really were and how cut off they were from their own soul. So I just had no idea about any of that stuff. But I do know that there's a ton of opposition, and they do create accounts. They do go out, just like I said, with that one guru guy. And he's an NWO person, and he's out there, getting a huge following, and he wants everybody dead too. So you really got to watch out who you follow, because they do put these either MK Ultra or just people who actually know they're misleading you, or people who don't, that they think they're actually getting information. Because like I said, mine can feel like I'm being MK Ultra. Like the stuff they're telling me, it can feel like it's implanted into your head or something. So people can be out there passing on information. And that's why you have to have discernment. Anything you listen to from somebody, you have to have discernment, because they can be passing on information that is, the mind control community that is out there speaking. And they've infiltrated all different groups. I don't think I'm mind controlled. I mean, I think I can recognize when the bad guys come into my place. I think I can recognize their voice. Like, I could definitely tell when I was going to do that clearing that they were laughing at me and, saying stuff. So I think that I can tell the difference, in the voices that I've heard my whole life and the ones that are trying to infiltrate into our thoughts right now. But, could be wrong. That's why each person has to have their own discernment, not just running around listening to everybody else. And they need to turn on their own, turn on their own translator to the other side. So, but there is a lot of people, and there is a lot of people out there who are trying to take down people who are speaking out. And that is one thing is why I would say that I'm pretty sure my stuff is coming from the place that they don't want you to hear from, because that's why I'm restricted. If I was saying what they wanted me to say, I would be promoted. I would have huge following. I would have tons of people hearing me. But it's not like that. I'm fighting tooth and nail to get what I'm saying out there. And so that's where I would say, more than likely I'm saying the stuff they don't want anybody to hear. But I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. I'm not trying to say, hey, listen to me, I've got it all, because I see that shit all the fucking day. Especially some of these people who just became spiritual, who are out there, hey, I've got it all. I've got all the answers. Listen to me. And it's like, no, don't just do what other people tell you to do. Trust your gut. Trust your instincts. Listen to your internal. You have your own life path, your own life journey, your own lessons, your own experiences. You're here. Your guides will direct you in how they want you to see things and what you want to, what you need to heal. Like I just saw this one guy, I'll end it after this guy. And he was saying how much he appreciated TikTok. He goes, I see people on here ridiculing and being angry and stuff because so many people are being censored. And they are angry. And, they're being attacked on lives and stuff. There's a lot of, it's very chaotic. But he was saying, I just have to say to all you people who are out there sharing your stories, because these testimonies, I'm telling you, they are very impactful when people talk about what they're going through and how they get through it. And he said, I was having such a hard time. And then when I went in and I started hearing other people, it was giving me so much insight. It was giving me so much more perspective. And it was giving me so many more options over how to look at things and how to react in situations. And it has helped him so much in his growth. So, that's out there. There's so many people sharing personal stories to help other people so that other people can, because we all do go through the same shit. They want to make division and they want us to think that we're all, we're in danger from each other and that we're all judging each other. But really, we are all living very similar lives, just trying to get by and make sense of it all. So anyways, just really trust yourself, work on you. I think, lots happening, and this weekend could be, really big, especially for some people. So just, stay aware and stay safe and, have a plan. But don't sit and, just panic and chew your nails off and stare out the window. I'm definitely jumpy when I hear a loud, like, I can't even tell you how many loud explosions I've heard or people screaming and stuff. And it's just like, what? Is it happening? Is it going down right now? What's happening? So, but, I don't know. Whoever's fucking with me, even when I'm in my room, they'll sit out here just making noise just to make sure that I can't sleep. And I'm really sick of it. And I'm just really sick of it. The disruption of my sleep that they keep doing night after night after night, and then get up and just drag around with this headache. And it's exhausting. But I know that it's temporary. This isn't our forever. This is a temporary situation that's leading us to, it's leading us to a good place. But don't forget, we've got still some rocky shit to go through to get there. Because even after this goes down, the people who are going to, when it goes the other direction and people see the truth, it is going to really take some people down. And I just heard there's a lot of these letters going around and stuff, editorials and stuff going around now about the people who did get these and how much they appreciate the people who did not get them, and how much they want to apologize now for the harassment and the attitude that they took towards them, and now how they can see how that process worked and how they were pushed into going against these people, and how much they appreciate these people now showing the placebo effect, because we didn't comply. So now we gave that experiment two sides. We get the people who didn't and the people who did. And you can see that the people who did are severely under attack, more than the rest of us, because we're all being poisoned nonstop, all day, every day, our whole entire lives. And these extra doses of poison. And I just know that there were people who were targeted through their DNA, through proteins, and through their DNA, their proteins, and the what was the other word I was about to say? Because I all of a sudden got a rush of something else right after I said I wasn't going to talk, but I got a rush of something else that I need to tell. But in Israel, like a huge amount of the men have died. I think that there's several places, but they targeted certain groups. That's all I'm saying. There's certain people who were definitely targeted. And I had just seen this, another one of these science expo situations, and they were showing the drones. Again, we've got the drones, and how great this is that we've got these little tiny drones that are about, I don't know, tiny like this. It kind of shows you in Sonic and Sonic 2, really, about these drones, Robotnik's little drone soldiers. Only his were bigger and cuter and movie style, but if you take them small, then, and they're more directed, they can program them to direct into you. And there's something that they're putting into the sky and the water. It is to make sure that we all have these little sensors or something, so they can find us and program and know, like right now, they could easily just, one of these little tiny things, just scoot up here and shoot right through and hit me right there, and I'm gone like that. And that's what this guy was showing, how quick that they can do it. They can just go right up, be up there in 1 second, like a mosquito, shoot, and then you're gone. But that is so cool, because we can use these, we drop them out of planes over cities that we're in a fight with, and then we can kill all the people, and they can directly target certain people, and it's done real quick, and nobody, we don't have soldiers out there fighting and getting killed. It's like, for one thing, why are they always trying to convince us that we're in danger from other people? This is constant. Oh, we're in danger. We got to have this weapon. We got to have this one. We're just going to go down and start dropping them. No, we know who you're going to use them against. You're going to use them against anybody who disagrees with you. Anybody who's not on the script of the narrative. Anybody who's against the GOV or the crown or the church. Anybody who's against that shit, they'll just be taken out. It's kind of ironic that they're sitting there going so against the Christians when, the church is part of who's running this world. So get the irony there. So, I don't know. I'll just go. I think I've given you a lot to chew on this morning. But anyways, just continue to work on you. And when triggers come up, just really go in and look at deeper. Why am I being triggered? Why is this bothering me? Why is that person bothering me? What is it about this situation that is bothering me? And go in deeper, because you got to purge that shit out. You can't hold on to pain and suffering. There's just no place of it in this new world that we're going to be creating. And so you want to just keep releasing and releasing all of the pain and suffering that you've carried, especially more than likely lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. So, and people are coming into your world to bring this stuff up. So don't be in fear of it. Don't be like, oh, well, I just met this person and they just make me so mad. Have some conversations and then go in and start trying to figure out, like, what is it? What are they trying to show me? What are they trying to tell me? What is it I'm not seeing? What is it I need to release? And just keep digging deeper and deeper and get everything out of there. And it's so weird too, because it's not like you become hollow. It's just like you become like a balloon full of love. You feel filled up with love. All of the pain and suffering you release, it just fills up with love and light. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.